Hey, aloha everybody, Mark Dixon here with Allstate Insurance here in Hawaii. One thing I've noticed over the years is that a lot of people get their hurricane renewal declaration pages in the mail, glance at the cost, and then set it aside. But those pages actually tell you exactly what protection you have, and just as importantly, what protections you don't have. Now, I send most of you, if I have your email address, a pre-renewal email to take a look at this. But definitely all of you get these renewal documents via US mail. So let's walk through some of the big coverages in plain local language, and we'll take a look at a hurricane policy covering a single family home first, both owner occupied homes and homes rented to tenants. Now, one thing unique about hurricane insurance here in Hawaii is that the policies are a la carte. In other words, you choose certain coverages and limits separately instead of everything automatically being included like how it is on most homeowners policies. Now, two neighbors could have the same hurricane insurance company and still have very different protections depending on the options they selected. Now, first, what you see is dwelling coverage. Now, that's the amount of insurance covering the actual structure of your home, the walls, the roof, the cabinets, flooring, built-ins, and any attached structures. Think of it as the amount available to rebuild your house if a hurricane caused major damage or blew it away. Next is other structures coverage. This applies to structures on your property that are not physically attached to the main home. Things like a detached garage, storage shed, fence, walls, or maybe even that little workshop that Uncle built in the backyard 20 years ago. Now you'll see personal property coverage. That's your belongings inside the home. Furniture, clothes, electronics, kitchen items, TVs, surfboards, fishing gear, and yes, probably that Costco massage chair too. Now, a lot of people assume the hurricane policy automatically covers everything inside, but the amount listed here matters. Another important section is loss of use or sometimes loss of rental income. Now, loss of use helps pay for temporary living expenses if your home becomes unlivable after a covered hurricane loss. So if you have to stay in a hotel, short-term rental, or pay for extra food expenses while repairs are being made, this coverage can help. Now, loss of rental income is especially important for investment properties or ohana units. If a tenant has to move out after hurricane damage and you lose rental income during the repairs, this coverage can help replace some or all of that lost rent. Now let's talk about the deductible because this is where a lot of people get surprised. Hurricane deductibles are usually percentage based, not flat dollar amounts like your car insurance and your home insurance. So if you have a 2% hurricane deductible and your home is insured for 500,000, your hurricane deductible is 10,000. Now that's what we got to pass before insurance starts paying. And that's why it's really important to pay attention to that number on your declaration page. Now, one company we work with, Laulima Exchange, applies the deductible per individual coverage. ICAT and Zephyr will add up all the coverages and then apply the deductible. And finally, let's take a look at hurricane policies for townhouses and condos. Now, certain hurricane policies combine the coverage for the unit itself and the improvements to that unit, plus the personal property within the unit, and combine them under the personal property heading. Loss of use and loss of rental income apply the same as a single family home policy. Now, certain hurricane policies do have the dwelling coverage for the unit itself and the improvements covered separately from the personal property coverage. So you'll see that under coverage A and coverage C. And then also remember that your association master policy likely has coverage for hurricane damage, but only for the building itself. So when you open that mail, don't just take a look at the premium, look at the coverages, the limits, and the deductible. A quick review now can save a lot of stress later if we ever do get hit with a major storm this season. Now, if you ever want help reviewing your declaration page, give us a call. We're always happy to walk you through it in plain English. No insurance dictionary required. So let's have a safe and great hurricane season here. Let's stay mayhem free. And again, thank you for watching and have a mayhem free day.